Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 2:1, tell us, there they bring in a mahloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. What it means, Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel? The student of Shammai and the student of Hillel. When is really Rosh Hashanah la'ilanot? When is the New Year's for the trees? There is a mahloket there. According to Bet Shammai, it's in Aleph Bishvat. That means the 1st of Shvat. Bet Hillel say the 15th of Shvat. We all know Halacha ke Bet Hillel because we celebrate Tu Bishvat, the 15th of Shvat, on Tu Bishvat. That's when we celebrate the Rosh Hashanah for the Ilanot. Okay, so what difference does it make to us? Halachically, we have to understand why it's so important to us as a Jews to know what is Tu Bishvat. So to understand what is Tu Bishvat, we have to understand the law of Orla. Anyone understand what is it Orla? No, so I'll explain. Orla, when we plant a tree, we have to count 3 years, 3 full years, from the moment that it's been planted until we can enjoy the fruit. We can eat from those fruit. Everyone understand that? That's Orla. So the first 3 years, even if the tree brought fruit, we're not allowed to eat it. That's why it's so important. Then we have another law, Trumot and Maasrot. What is Trumot and Maasrot? Trumot and Maasrot, that's actually reflecting the fruit in Eretz Israel. That means when you plant the tree and it brings you certain amount of fruit, you have to give certain amount of value of Trumot and Maasrot. From that, whatever there is on the field, in the vineyard, in the orchard, whatever comes from Pirot HaIlan, you have to give. That's also, by the way, it's not only just for fruit tree. It's also whatever comes from the ground we have to do it, Trumot and Maasrot. So that's halachically why is it so important to us. But we have to understand why Dafka in Tu Bishvat. Why our sages tell us that Dafka in the 15th of Shvat, it's Rosh Hashanah La'ilan. To understand that, we have to look what's happening in Eretz Israel. At the moment in Eretz Israel is winter, nachon? What's happening in winter in Eretz Israel? As you all know, all the trees in winter, they lose the leaf, they lose everything that they have, they look actually naked. As a matter of fact, if you look at that tree in winter, you'll think that it's dying. There is no future for it. The Gemara come and tell us in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 43-2, that Dafka in that time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given Hazal, our sages, to tell us that that's going to be Rosh Hashanah La'ilanot, that that's going to be the New Year's when all the Ilanot been judged, how much fruit they're going to bring, which one of the tree going to survive the extra years. Why is it so important? It's come to teach us something very important, us as a human being. The same like the tree look empty in winter, look naked, there is no leaves, there is no fruit. And you think that it's going to die, but because most of the rainy season in Shvat is already passed away, that means that most of the rainy season in Eretz Israel until the month of Shvat is already passed, and the ground already absorb all the rain, and the tree absorb all the moisture, and only you can see on the tree is a little buds to show that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually here bringing in a new life. Okay, a new life for the tree, Dafka Tu Bishvat. How's that reflecting us? The same like the tree get a new life. First he gets buds, then he get the fruit. Then he get the flower, then he get the fruit. And show that the tree, again, having another cycle of life. To teach us that we enjoying and benefit from the tree, and we'll see how, we go to it just now, we'll get to it. To show us that even that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, enough that make miracle, to change that from effect of death, effect of nakedness, and make a miracle that now starting a new life in a tree, in a creation, it's enough for us to celebrate, to see the miracle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How is that connecting to our parsha? Tu Bishvat always, Rabotai, will fall during Parashat Yitro or Parashat Beshalach. One of these parashiyot, Tu Bishvat, will always happen then. What's the connection? You remember on Shabbos we read in Parashat Beshalach that Bnei Israel arrived to Marah. Velo matz'u mayim lishtot. They didn't find water to drink. Mark, join us here, please. Like this I don't see you. Come join us, Mark, welcome. So they arrive in a place that's called Marah. Also to the other Mark, welcome, thank you for joining us. All the new people. And Hazal tell us that when they arrived there, they found a place, the Torah tell us, sorry, not Hazal, that the water was bitter. They couldn't drink. Immediately, we all read, they start screaming to Moshe Rabbeinu, there is no water for us to drink. The water is bitter, we're going to die of thirst. Moshe Rabbeinu asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu a better tree. He took from that bitter tree a piece and he threw it into the bitter water. And we all know the rest, that those water turned to sweet water. What is the connection? Hazal tell us, Dafka, when you see things that they are looking bad, especially say looking bad. Some people have tzoras, all different. Dafka from that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to bring the redemption. Dafka from that, you're going to see the good. It's the same with the tree. That Dafka now that the tree looks so naked, so empty, looks like it's dying, and this season, Dafka now, from that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to bring a new cycle on the life of the tree and the fruit that everything growing. The same what's happened in the Parsha, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu make a miracle, from bitter become sweet. Also us to learn that Dafka now, that this cycle, that in Eretz Israel is winter, and the tree look naked, Lichora, you might think that there is no more fruit. No. Dafka now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to show his miracle. Okay, if that's the case, we still have to understand why we call it a day of happiness. Why is Tu B'Shvat is a day of happiness that we don't say Tahanun? Not only that, we'll see just now when I'll go through the Minagim, there's few things that we're not allowed to do on Tu B'Shvat. All of you realize that we didn't say Tahanun yesterday in Mincha, this morning, and not in Mincha today. Why is that? What is make a difference to me as a Jewish person that the tree being judged, that it's Rosh Hashanah, that I'm not going to say Tahanun? What difference does it make to us? Anyone have any idea? Stephen, you study Masechet Rosh Hashanah. Come on, you know that. The Masechet Rosh Hashanah there, I think Rashi explained, and Hazal bring these few Ma'amarei Hazal, why it's so important for us that we don't say Tahanun on Tu B'Shvat. We don't show any kind of sadness on the day of Tu B'Shvat. Besides that, we have to show a bit of happiness, like I mentioned this morning. Any ideas? No? So, I'll have to share it with you. We all know that when we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to try to bring 4 reasons, if you bear with me. The 4th reason, I'm just jumping ahead, it's going to be Kabbalistic, so if you don't understand that, please stop me. The first reason that Hazal tell us, and it's very important, Nachon that the Ilanot being judged now, it doesn't make a difference to us. By that you see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu creating a miracle, and from a naked tree, that lichora it look like it's dying, bringing fruit, it's enough to show that miracle to make us happy, to prove that there is God. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu show his miracle, to teach us that everything is still alive. That means that never we lose hope. Even when anything is bad, you're not allowed to lose hope. As Hazal say, that afilu heref hada, that if there is a sharp saw, okay, munachat al tzavaro, that's lying on his neck, he's not allowed to lose hope. A person not allowed to lose hope until the last second. The second explanation, and here I'm going to bring the source from Sefer Dvarim, from the written Torah. In Sefer Dvarim, chapter 20, verse 19, the Torah tells us, Ki ha'adam hu etz hasadeh. That means that the person is like a tree. That you have to look at a person like a tree. What is the connection between a human being to a tree? Anyone have any idea? Okay? Sorry? Both grow up, okay? But how do they grow up? That's the question. A tree grows in stages. You agree with me? It doesn't grow in one day, become a tall tree, bringing fruit and everything. Stages. First, you plant it. You have to treat it. You have to water it. You have to fertilize it. Then it starts growing. Then come the buds. Then come the flower. And then come the final fruit. The final thing is fruit. The same with us. We're born as a baby. People have to look after us until we grow up. You know, if it's a youngster, then we move to different ages. But what's the difference? The difference is, and the connection is, that here we're eating the fruit. With us, when we're growing up, we should grow up that people should enjoy us the same like we enjoying the fruit. Hazal tell us the same like the stages until the tree bring the fruit. You have to grow up in Yiddishkeit. That in the end, when you reach to a level that people will enjoy eating your fruit. What is your fruit? Teaching Torah. That people can learn from you the Torah. The same like at the beginning, you have to study Torah. You have to fill up your education, your knowledge. How much you know about Torah? Once that you know that, and you're ready, you should spread it out. The same like you're enjoying the fruit. You have to study. You have to prepare yourself. The same like we're enjoying from the fruit, people should enjoy from us. There's other level that we all know, that when you say a brocha on a fruit, what do we actually say? For example, Baruch Atah Hashem, Borei Pri Ha'etz, Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, Borei Pri Ha'etz. So we say brocha on the fruit. What did we done? What did we done by that we said a brocha before we eating a fruit or before anything that we do, we thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is that kind of action come to teach us? Any idea, Rabotai? Sorry? So you, Stephen, say we get a permission, number one, nachon? Number two, we thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like we mentioned. You all agree with Stephen? We thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving us the fruit, for allowing us to eat. There's many people that have fruit, but they're not allowed to eat it. Why? Because maybe it's acidic, maybe they're allergic to it.
Sugar.
Sorry? Sugar, diabetes, whatever the case is. So here we're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for allowing us to eat from the fruit. And that's enough that we can eat from the fruit. It's enough to give us a choice. We understand that. Now I want to move to the fourth one. And here I want you to bear with me because it might going to be a bit heavy. How is that fit according to what Hazal tell us? It's a bit higher level. We all believe, because one of the 13 principles, that there is what we call a reincarnation. Everyone remember that? Tchiyat HaMetim, nachon? The resurrection of the dead. So, Hazal tell us that on an upper level, that the main reason that we saying brocha on fruit, on vegetables, on bread, whatever is it, we actually doing tikkun. What it means tikkun? Tikkun, that we repairing. That means there is certain fruit, there is certain food that come to this world, And inside this food, there is a reincarnation of a neshama of a certain people. You don't understand that, Menachem? No. There is certain food that we're eating that came to this world, in this world that we live in, meat, bread, fruit, vegetable. By that we're saying the brocha, we're actually doing the final repair, what we call tikkun, that we're uplifting the neshama that she be reincarnated as, for example, as an apple. As an apple, as a fruit, as a meat, as a chicken, whatever you want to call it. By that you're doing the brocha, you actually fulfilling the final, you put the final puzzle together, and now the neshama can get out of that fruit or out of that vegetables, whatever you want to call it, and now it can go up to heaven. That means that this reincarnation of that person being completed. That means, what does that mean? That in certain food, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put part of the neshama of a human being inside certain food. By that a human being is say a brocha, he closed the circle. That means he done his final tikkun. Is it understood, Menachem? It's a bit more, I didn't know if to share it with you or not. If you didn't understand, please stop me. Is that understood so far? Yes. So by that we're saying a brocha on a fruit, and we finish to do the tikkun for certain neshamot that been reincarnated in certain fruit, we should be happy. Why? Because by that those neshama that was in certain fruit, now they move up. For us to understand that there is certain soul that been reincarnated as a stone, you know that, as a tree. So imagine a stone, winter, summer, lo aleinu. You know, there is all different, the Mekubalim explain. So we have to understand that when you finish the brocha, and you bite from that, and you eat it in Kedusha, you fulfill the repair of that soul. So that's good enough for us to have enough joys on Tu B'Shvat. Now we can understand why we're not allowed to have and to show any mourning on Tu B'Shvat. So far it's understand?
If it didn't say the brocha,
yes,
the neshama of that fruit, you eat it without bracha, what is happening? So your neshama is in your body.
There is a story. There is a story. You're laughing. Arav Mordechai Sharabi. Don't know how many of you know. They call him the Rashash. Sliha, Arav Shmuel Sharabi. He was a great Mekubal. And he needs. One day a woman came and she brought him a chicken. And she wanted him to check if it's kosher or not. And they have occasion. It was a simha. And he delayed until in the end he said to her, it's okay, they shech the chicken. And when they shech the chicken that she given him, they given it to the Hatan, and the Hatan ate from it, said the brocha, and died. And that was his tikkun. Okay? So I heard a story that many people, when you don't say brocha, you know what's happening to that neshama? That means that she have to reincarnate in a different fruit. Imagine. You almost there. You know? And suddenly someone take a bite without the brocha. It means that you have to go up to Bedin of Ma'ala. They have to decide now which fruit you're going to come, how you're going to come. I don't know the Bedin of Ma'ala. We don't know Heshbonot Shamayim. You understand? So that's why we obligated to say a fruit and a brocha in a spiritual world. In a spiritual level, sorry. It's not just the brocha that we're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Obviously, that's one of the most important things. But from a point of view of reincarnating, that's neshama have to go up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and again, bedin to start. You understand? So how important is it, the brocha? So, from a spiritual point of view, now that we enjoy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a tree with fruit that we can enjoy from it, and we're eating it, and we get the benefit from it, and now when it's the day of judgment for them, we also should be happy. Now we understand why Tu B'Shvat, it's a day of joy for us. Any other question before we move to the minhagim and the halachot of Tu B'Shvat? Oh, okay. As you all know, Tu B'Shvat is a day that we're not allowed to do tahanun, no hesped, not askarot. It's a day of joys. And the eve before Tu B'Shvat, we don't say tahanun also. That's the minhag. But, you know, there is a minhag, it's a custom. Among the Sephardi, that custom doesn't exist. But among the Edot Ashkenaz, a hatan, a person that gets married, the day of his wedding, he should fast. Nachon? Everyone know it? Nachon. What's happened the day that he got married today. So there is a shaila amongst the poskim and the achronim. Is he allowed to fast or not? The Magen Avraham say, and most of the achronim say that if there is a wedding on Tu B'Shvat, the hatan not allowed to fast. A hatan not allowed to fast. Magen Avraham and most of the achronim. Why is that? Because why do we fast on the day of the wedding? You all know. Sorry? Lechaper avonot, נכון? For forgiveness. We ask him for forgiveness. So it's come to tell you not only that it's a day of forgiveness, but it's a day of joys. Don't fast. A hatan not allowed to fast on Tu B'Shvat. Mark, you're not married, am I right? Yeah. So please God, you get married, choose Tu B'Shvat. Who else not married, choose Tu B'Shvat. So you don't have to fast. Okay. What's happening if Tu B'Shvat fell on Shabbat? What do we do then? When Tu B'Shvat fell off Shabbat, we all know that there is a mitzvah during Tu B'Shvat to eat from the fruit, a special fruit that Eretz Yisrael nishtabha bahem. Hazal tell us what it means, perot she'eretz Yisrael nishtabha bahem. Those are the 7 fruit that we know. Also, not only those fruit, also fruit from perot ha'ilan. So on Shabbos, you're obligated to eat it. So what do? So you first eat the meal of Shabbat. After that, after you finish the meal, in the end of the meal, you're supposed to eat the fruit. And then you say Birkat HaMazon, and you don't say Bracha Achrona. That means that you eat in the end of the meal on Shabbos, fruit, Shenishtabha Bahem Eretz Yisrael. If you can't get hold, you eat fruit, any fruit from the trees. And when you say Birkat HaMazon, that final bracha consider, like, it's not consider, that's poter, yoter nachon to say. That's what become that you don't have to say bracha achrona. That's on Shabbat. There is a good minhag, Rabotai, that on Tu B'Shvat, remember Tu B'Shvat, it's the day of judgment for the trees, nachon? To ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he should send us in Sukkot, just before Sukkot, that we should merit it to get etrog. Everyone know what is an etrog? Everyone know what is it? Etrog kam, pri ha'ilan, nachon? To ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Tu B'Shvat that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us etrog meudar, a beautiful etrog, for Pesach. It's Sukkot, sorry. What Pesach? Sukkot. There is one more important thing that we have to remember, that And with that, I'm going to conclude. No, sorry, there's another two minhagim that I would like to share with you. The other minhag is that it's good to make a sa'udah in Tu Bishvat that to show the joys. But beside that, there is a minhag to eat a fruit, a new fruit that you didn't eat. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu today, I don't know how that come, but he given me the merit and I was succeeded to send a new fruit. A guy that I work with, he suddenly came out of the blue and he said, you know what I bought now? I was at Woolies, I bought figs. And I didn't eat figs for quite a while. It just happened for HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he given me that merit. So there is a custom, a minhag, that we should eat a new fruit on Tu Bishvat and say Shehiyanu. Any question, Rabotai, about Tu Bishvat? No question. Okay. Rabbi Hananiah ben Ak. Yes. How's the tree judge if it doesn't done nothing wrong? Very good. You know that there is Hazal tell us that there is Rosh Hashanah for everything. The judgment means that maybe he finished his circle and now it's time to move on. These people that have been judged, as I mentioned, that they be reincarnate as a tree. You understand? So it's the judgment. It's very heavy. We'll speak about it later, okay? Rabbi